There is a kind of wisdom that doesn't come from books. It doesn't come from classrooms, or lectures, or motivational posters hanging on office walls. It comes from pain. It comes from silence. It comes from years of watching people show one face to the world, while hiding another completely different face underneath. And once you understand this kind of wisdom, you start seeing the world in a way you never could before. Let me tell you something about deception, because it's one of the most misunderstood things in human relationships. Out of all the ways people lie to you, the cruelest one isn't a lie spoken out loud. It isn't even a betrayal you can point to and say, "There, that's where it happened." The cruelest deception is fake love. It's someone smiling at you every single day while quietly planning your downfall. It's someone calling you their friend while celebrating your failures in private. This kind of deception is dangerous precisely because it doesn't look like deception at all. It looks like affection. So if you ever want to truly understand a person's character, don't listen to what they say to your face. Watch what makes them laugh. Watch what they find funny when they think no one is judging them. That single reaction, that unfiltered laugh, reveals more about a person's soul than 1,000 polite conversations ever could. People can control their words. It's much harder to control what genuinely amuses them. And here's something nobody tells you when you're young, something you only understand after you've lived a little. Life doesn't hand out free lessons. Every single thing you've learned about people, about yourself, about how the world actually works, you've paid for. You paid with your time. You paid with your heartbreak. You paid with mistakes you wish, even now, you could undo. So when someone tells you, "Life taught me this," understand what that sentence actually means. It means they paid a price, sometimes a very heavy one, for that piece of wisdom they're now casually sharing with you. A calm mind is a powerful mind. This isn't just a nice phrase, it's a practical truth. When your thoughts are still, when you're not reacting to every small provocation, your decisions become sharper, clearer, and far more effective. This is something our education system quietly forgets to teach us. Schools spend years teaching us how to speak, how to form sentences, how to construct an argument, how to present ourselves confidently in front of others. But no one ever sits us down and teaches us when to speak, where it's appropriate to speak, and most importantly, when to say absolutely nothing at all. And once you learn that lesson, truly learn it, you'll understand something liberating. Your peace matters more than anyone's opinion of you. Their opinion will pass. Your peace has to last you a lifetime. Now watch closely how a person's words age over time. The moment someone's actions stop matching what they say, their words start losing value, slowly, quietly, almost invisibly at first, until one day you realize nothing they say means anything anymore. Trust works exactly the same way. It takes years, sometimes decades, to build, and it can be destroyed in a single moment, a single betrayal, a single lie that finally gets exposed. This is why the wisest people you'll ever meet eventually stop trusting words altogether. They trust actions instead. Because anyone, absolutely anyone, can promise you the world with their mouth. But only their actions, over time, will tell you the truth about who they really are. If there's one lesson that humbles even the wisest among us, it's this: the more you learn about life, about people, about yourself, the more you realize just how much you still don't know. That's not weakness. That is not a sign of failure. That is growth. Real growth only happens when you stop blaming your circumstances for where you are and start owning your decisions completely. You are not simply a product of what happened to you. You are a product of what you chose to do about it afterward. Two people can face the exact same tragedy and walk away completely different. One broken, one stronger. The difference isn't the tragedy. The difference is the choice that came after it. Two things will save you more energy, more relationships, and more peace of mind than almost anything else in this life: silence and a genuine smile. A smile can dissolve tension before an argument even has the chance to begin. It can turn a stranger into a friend in seconds. And silence, real intentional silence, can prevent wars that careless words would have absolutely started. Most conflicts in our lives aren't caused by what we said. They're caused by what we should have left unsaid. Kindness, real kindness, doesn't need language to be understood. It's a gift the blind can feel through your actions, and a gift the deaf can hear through your energy. But even kindness has its boundaries, and this is something people rarely admit out loud. Not everyone deserves your kindness. Some people will mistake your gentleness for weakness, and they will take advantage of it without a second thought. For people like that, the answer isn't cruelty, and it isn't revenge either. The answer is silence. Give your attention only to those who genuinely value it, because the truth is, not everyone has earned the right to your energy, your time, or your presence in their life. Sometimes the loneliest path in life is actually the right one. Standing with a crowd is easy. You're never questioned, never challenged, never made to feel alone in your opinion because everyone around you agrees with you. But standing by yourself, holding your ground when literally everyone else disagrees with you, that takes a kind of courage most people never develop in their entire lifetime. And here's a small but powerful truth to remember. If someone ever wastes 10 minutes of your time, remember this: 8 of those 10 minutes, you allowed it to happen. You held the door open. Patience isn't the absence of anger. Let that sink in for a moment. Patience is the exact moment you feel the anger rising up inside you, and in that very moment, you consciously choose understanding instead. It is one of the hardest skills a human being can ever master, and it is also one of the most powerful. Because whoever masters patience ends up mastering almost everything else in life. Their relationships, their career, their peace of mind, all of it. There's a meaningful difference between correcting a fool and correcting a wise person, and understanding this difference will save you a lot of heartache. Correct a fool, and instead of thanking you, he will resent you for pointing out his mistake. Correct a wise person, however, and they will genuinely appreciate you for your honesty. This single difference tells you everything you need to know about who in your life is actually worth your honesty, and who simply isn't ready to receive it. We spend so much of our limited energy worrying about what other people think of us, their opinions, their silent judgments, their whispered conversations behind closed doors. But here is the truth that most people realize far too late in life. Life is simply too short for that kind of worry. Do what genuinely makes you happy. Pursue what feels right to you. Because in the end, the only person who has to live inside the consequences of your choices, every single day for the rest of your life, is you, and no one else. Think of your life as a notebook for a moment. The first page of that notebook is already written for you. That's your birth. The last page is already written too, whether we like to think about it or not. That's your death. But everything in between those 2 pages? That space is completely blank. That space belongs entirely to you. Fill it with the things that actually matter in the end. Love given freely, kindness shown without expecting anything back, and moments that will still feel meaningful when you look back on them one day. It's easy to feel completely lost during your darkest moments, when everything feels heavy, when nothing seems to be going right, when you can't see any way forward. But that is precisely when you need to search hardest for the light, because it is always there, even in moments when you cannot see it yet with your own eyes. And remember this important truth about trust. Trust, once broken, is very much like shattered glass. You can carefully piece it back together again with time and effort, but if you look closely enough, the cracks will always still be visible. Here's something most people get backwards in life, and it costs them years of unnecessary suffering. They spend their entire lives trying desperately to be seen exactly the way others see them, chasing approval, chasing validation. But the only perspective that truly matters, at the end of the day, is your own perspective of yourself. How you see yourself, that is the foundation that everything else in your life is eventually built upon. Everyone dreams of becoming a diamond one day, valuable, admired by everyone, seemingly unbreakable under pressure. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Very few people are actually willing to endure the intense pressure it takes to become one. Real growth simply doesn't happen inside your comfort zone. It happens only under weight, under pressure, under circumstances that genuinely test you. Every single hardship you face in life is secretly a hidden teacher in disguise. It's easy to forget this truth when you're right in the middle of the pain. But even your darkest, most difficult experiences are quietly shaping something valuable inside of you that comfort and ease could never have shaped on their own. Manners will take you further in life than beauty ever could. Beauty fades with time, impresses people only for a brief moment, and is eventually forgotten entirely. But the way you consistently treat other people, that is what gets remembered for an entire lifetime, long after your appearance has changed. If you truly want to speak an honest truth, start by speaking it about yourself first. It's always far easier to point out someone else's flaws and mistakes than it is to sit quietly with your own. But real wisdom, the kind that actually changes you as a person, begins the exact moment you turn that same honesty inward, toward yourself. The truest test of someone's character isn't found in how they treat people who can directly benefit them in some way. It's found in how they treat people who can do absolutely nothing for them in return. A waiter, a stranger, someone with no power or influence at all. That single behavior, more than any resume, any job title, or any social status, reveals the real truth about a person's soul. Success has a strange way of inflating a person's ego, and failure has an equally strange way of crushing a person's spirit. But the wisest people among us learn, often through hard experience, to hold both of these things loosely, never letting success go completely to their head, and never letting failure sink too deeply into their heart. There is a certain kind of freedom that comes from simply doing what you like to do. But there is something even greater than that freedom, and that is happiness, true happiness, and that only comes when you eventually learn to genuinely like what you do, even during the ordinary, unglamorous, repetitive moments of your everyday life. True knowledge doesn't begin with confident answers. It actually begins with a humbling realization. The realization that you know almost nothing at all in the grand scheme of things. And it's only once you fully accept that uncomfortable truth that real, meaningful learning can finally begin in your life. Life will always test you without exception, no matter who you are. It will hand you dark days, harder nights, and moments that make you question absolutely everything you once believed to be true. But hold on through those moments, because after every single storm you face, there is always sunshine waiting patiently for you on the other side. So the next time life starts to feel unbearably heavy, remember everything we've talked about today. Choose silence over unnecessary noise. Choose patience over immediate anger. Choose consistent actions over empty promises. And choose your own inner peace over the constant need for everyone else's approval. This isn't just wisdom for the sake of sounding wise. This is genuinely how you build a life that you can look back on one day and feel proud of. If even one of these words moved something inside of you today, don't let that feeling end the moment this video does. Share it with someone in your life who needs to hear it right now, someone who might be going through a difficult season and needs a reminder like this one. And if you want more wisdom like this delivered to you regularly, make sure to subscribe, because honestly, this is only the beginning of what's coming.